Okay, so first and foremost, since the last time we spoke, obviously some things have changed with coronavirus. So, how is it impacting business right now?
A lot has changed. I was thinking about that, preparing for this. When we were last talking, I just come back from the cruise, and things were pretty normal for the first part of February. But after that, when Europe started to get hit, we really started to be affected. A lot of inquiries about postponing, possible cancellations, and yeah, so a lot has changed.
Do you have people on any trips right now
We
outside of the
do.
country?
We do. Cruises primarily. Our Europe season doesn't really start until spring. March is the end of winter for the Europe season. So we don't really have anyone in Europe right now. So it's primarily cruises and Mexican and Caribbean resorts.
And what are those customers? I'm sure you're in constant contact with them. How are they all feeling at this point?
The people on the cruises have been having a great time. They've noticed some changes in how things are done on the ship. For example, instead of helping yourself at a buffet, you might have assistance from a crew member. So those kinds of things, they're stepping up the preventative measures on the ship. They do some screenings getting on the ship and getting off the ship. I don't know if you heard that the cruise port in Baltimore has closed. So we've got some people out right now that are coming back on the Grandeur of the Seas, and they will be screened. We have some people who were supposed to be going out in the Carnival Pride. Obviously, they're not going to be going. So those are some of the things they're experiencing. As far as Mexico and the Caribbean, business is normal.
What cruise companies, because I know it kind of keeps changing, but I guess at this moment, what cruise companies have suspended operations?
Princess was the first. Princess and excuse me, not Virgin, Viking River and Viking Ocean. Virgin Voyages postponed their inaugural cruise from April to August. That was yesterday. Um, so those are I think Windstar also was just added. It's hard to keep track, but I think that was the most recent one. The majors that you think about, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, still sailing as scheduled. I don't know if that will change. And obviously, the Grandeur and the Carnival Pride will not be sailing, but other than that, everything is as scheduled.
What's the biggest question you're getting right now?
Is it safe for me to go?
And what's your answer?
Depends on where they're going, depends on their personal, physical situation. Do they have underlying health issues? Are they elderly? Frail perhaps? So those are the kinds of questions that we go over with them, and then ultimately they have to make their own decision based on their own personal health situation and their comfort level.
How is this? I mean, it's so hard to tell. It's hard to predict the future. But as of right now, how is this impacting the travel industry? How is this impacting your life?
Krause Travel has been really, really fortunate. We've had a lot of inquiries early on, very few, if any, cancellations. And then in more recent days, we've had a lot more postponements than cancellations. I honestly don't know if we've had any cancellations due to this coronavirus. The industry in general has taken a really hard hit. Airlines, particularly, I don't know if you're aware that in Europe, they were flying about half of the scheduled flights. And a lot of them that they were flying were what they call ghost flights with nobody on board, but they do it in order to keep their gate um, their gates at the different airports. If they don't continue to fly, they'll lose those gates, and that would be detrimental to their business. And then with the new travel ban, the airlines have been hardest hit. But everybody's been affected in some way in the travel industry.
Now, on the flip side to that, you have people who are finding flights. I mean, we have someone who just went to Chicago for the weekend, round trip, $70.
Right,
That's
exactly.
insane.
It is, and that's why, because the airlines, if they sell a seat for any amount of money, that's better than flying empty. So that's why you're finding the really discounted fares right now. And the thing is, people are making the plans, taking advantage of the pricing, but they have to be also aware that that flight might not operate. And if as long as they're aware of that and okay with that, it's probably a good idea. I personally would not have a problem getting on an airplane. I don't have a trip planned right now, but if I did, it would not be a problem for me to go to the airport and do what I normally do. Of course, you're going to take some more precautions when you do it, but I don't discourage people from taking advantage of those discounts.
And, here we are right now. Obviously, we're at, from what we've seen so far, the peak. It may go higher, it may not, but this is where we're dealing with right now. And I'm sure you have people, we're getting into closer to kids getting out of school and all of that kind of stuff. You have people who have trips planned for May, June, July.
Mm-hmm.
And people are questioning what they should do at this point. Should they cancel or postpone now? Should they wait? What is your recommendation there?
No, they should not cancel or postpone right now for a trip that is that far out. We watch the trends and we watch how long it takes for the virus to become contained in different countries and the numbers to start dropping off, just to have a projection of how long this will be the normal. If you notice the policies that most of the companies have put into place, the airlines, the cruise lines, other tour operators, they tend to offer this temporary cancellation and postponement policy until about the end of April. Some of them go into May, but typically the end of April. I think that's everybody's best guess as to when things will be getting back to normal. So, especially for people who are planning vacations for their families after the kids are out of school, I would not cancel because coronavirus should be old news at that point. So that's my open prayer.
I know you and I have talked about it before. Should people still buy travel insurance? Will that even help them at this point when it comes to coronavirus specifically?
Right. The typical travel insurance covers unexpected medical issues. So no, that would not. And travel insurance doesn't cover for fear. It covers for an actual illness. There is a cancel for any reason kind of coverage that you can purchase. But now that this is a known illness, a known pandemic, a lot of the cancel for any reason coverages would no longer cover. So at this point, we're relying on our partners in the travel industry, the airlines and the cruise lines and the hotels and tour operators, to help our clients to postpone travel if they find themselves in a situation where it's not safe to travel or it's just really not comfortable for them to travel. And that's where these new policies, these temporary policies, are what we go to. We don't even need the travel insurance or the cancel for any reason insurance because we're able to use these new policies with the suppliers.
Anything I missed or anything else you think our viewers need to know?
Yeah, two things. One thing, the airlines have been doing a great job. All of our suppliers have been doing a great job, I feel, with providing these waivers for people who are supposed to be traveling right now and can't. One that has been a really big disappointment for us has been Southwest Airlines and their group department. They will provide no waiver. They will provide no grace for anyone who can't make the trip. And we're real perplexed about why they're doing this. So Southwest, if you're listening, you need to rethink that. But the other thought I wanted to share with everyone is the travel industry, the travel professionals, such as Krause Travel, we spend an awful lot of time being your source of information so that you can make an educated decision and help you to be reaccommodated or cancel if you need to. And it's something that we're doing because we're professionals, and we just want to make the point that as a professional, this is what we do, and this is what you can come to expect of us and all the other professionals that are in our industry. And if you can remember to start planning your trip now for later this year, 2021. That's going to be a really big help for all of us to weather this storm that we're going through right now and keep everybody employed and receiving paychecks. And so we all can get out there and spend our money and reinvigorate the economy. So those are the two thoughts I wanted to share with you today.
On a personal level, on that note, for you, I mean, are you fearful? You know, because you guys are commission based through all of this, correct? So
We are.
are you fearful?
I'm not. I'm not. Most of our suppliers have been very good to us and protected commissions. It's something that is totally voluntary on their part, and we know that some will and some won't. So that's a big help. It helps us to keep paying the light bill. Um, but I worry for some of the other agencies who are struggling a bit. They're single proprietors. None of us know how long this will be and if that commission protection will continue. So, it's just a really great idea, I think, for everybody's spirit too, to be able to start booking planning some things for the future and beyond what we're dealing with right now.
All right, Vickie, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being able to do this today.